Although, I will start this out by apologizing because this is not going to be the greatest quality. This is not what I do. I don't make videos. I don't host any shows or channels or podcasts or anything like that. I'm simply looking for some more information. And how better to find information than the internet, where anybody can find it and anybody can suggest things. So, to get straight to the point is, I have recently, in the last 2 weeks, more or less, been having an overwhelming amount of weird coincidences and strange feelings and overwhelming feeling of someone around the house or around me at various times. And now, this is something that I'm kind of accustomed to, and I've been around different things since I was small, so that's not a big deal. I'm kind of used to it, and it doesn't really freak me out. The issue with the last 2 weeks is it feels way more nefarious. Something definitely troublesome, with really bad intentions. And it's very unsettling. And the truth of the matter is, it feels like and this is going to sound crazy because even though I've been around all kinds of wonderful, weird, crazy, strange paranormal things throughout my life, this one, never really considered it, the black-eyed children. It's a weird phenomenon. I'm not entirely sure if it's real or if it's not, or what they are, but it's this overwhelming sense that that's exactly what it is. It's so strange. Examples include there's a lot of exterior doors in the home that I live in, and a pretty decent sized piece of property for living in the city. I do live in a city, or in town. It's not a very large city, but it is pretty decent. And it's an overwhelming sense that something is outside almost always. Almost always. And anytime I pass a door or a window, which there's several windows in this house, it feels like someone's just outside, or any moment I'm going to look out the door and there'll be someone standing there, which is not uncommon, but this feels more like, it feels like that. It feels like black-eyed children. Now, my question is, how do I know if that's what it is? Are there any signs? What can I do? Because they're really starting to mess with things. For instance, this morning, it was about 6 a.m. I was outside watering the plants on the front porch, and I have a 75-foot water hose that goes from the water spout to the front yard area that we use. And I had it all the way out, excluding a small loop, and I was watering the plants. Not a big issue. The water stopped flowing, and I thought maybe there was something wrong with my sprayer. I'd been watering for probably 10 minutes at this point in time. And I thought perhaps there's something wrong with the nozzle, and I adjusted it, I checked it, no issue. Couldn't find anything wrong. So I go and I search the hose. Perhaps there's a kink. No, the hose is completely straight. The water has been turned off at the faucet completely. So I turn it back on. And then I walk about 50 feet away to where the water hose is, and I continue to water the plants. But it's at this point in time that I feel like there's something around, something walking around, and it's very strange. Now, it's fairly daylight. It's starting to rise. The sun's starting to rise, I should say. So it's not necessarily a big deal. I can see everything. I can hear and see everyone who's approaching or walking the sidewalk. There's nobody. I have no idea what's continuing to mess with things with me. And this happens pretty frequently. And I'm used to, like I said, I'm used to things, the paranormal messing with me. That's not a huge issue. It's very common for me. But this is completely different. And I don't know how to identify it. I don't know what to do with it. I don't have any experience with this. And I would like to know if anyone has any suggestions, if anyone has any experience with this, if anyone out there can give me some information as far as what are signs to look for, what it could possibly be. I do have a child, and I'm incredibly protective of my child, and it worries me at this point in time. It worries me greatly because I'm unsure what it is, and it really feels like that's what it is. Which before, I really didn't even know that they existed. I know it's kind of a weird phenomenon. I've kind of heard a little here and there about it, you know, the same stories. But recently, it just seems, it really feels like this, which is the strangest thing. When I say it feels like this, I feel like I can feel their presence around me, or the sense that there are children standing near me, which is strange. I know, and I promise I'm not crazy. But and it's usually in the evenings. Sometimes it's during the day, but not frequently. I do work from home most of the time, so I am around the house pretty often. I'm very familiar with the house and the settling and how things change. There is a raccoon who lives in the backyard. Very familiar with him. There are stray cats that wander around. There's also 2 dogs that are my neighbors. Lovely dogs, and they let us know if there's anything near or around. So I'm familiar with the nature of things. It's a weird sense. It's very strange. And it's not like the other things that I've dealt with in my past. So, again, to stop rambling on about nonsense, I don't have any proof of any of this. I'm just looking for help or information.